All right, as per our promise, our agreement, said we're going to look at 2's complement. Now 2's complement, let's take a number. Let me just come with different numbers. 111 comma 101, and we subtract. Oh, by the way, before I do that, all haste, we need to bring this down. It's a little bit cold these days. A little bit down and say, put a topic. Today we're doing 2's complement. What is called 2's complement? Arithmetic. We're doing there. The whole reason of complements is to do what? Is to avoid the subtraction. So that we add. So now what we're gonna subtract there, we're gonna say 1 comma 1 1. Okay, but we're saying use 2's complement. What we do is we say 1 0 1 1 comma 101 base 2 subtract 1 1 comma 1 1. Standard practice, balance up the digits first. Okay, and we are subtracting. So what do? We avoid, we complement the negative number to avoid the what? Subtraction. So now we are going to add. So that top number stays as is, but the bottom number is complemented. Or we said we're doing 2's complement now, not 1's complement. So this is a 2. So we avoid 1's complement. So sorry, we avoid subtraction, but this time we're using 2's complement, not 1's complement. We already did 1's complement at this stage. So what happens with 1's complement? The number stays the same from the least significant up to the first one. Then you do 1's complement of the rest. That becomes a 0. The 3 zeros. Okay, that is 2 1's. So again, just a reminder, the comma stays in the same in position. Now again, for 2's complement, the number stays from the right to the left up to the first one. The number stays the same. Then you do 1's complement of the rest. So that will be 0 0 0 0. That's 4 zeros actually, is it not? Oh no, up to the first one. So it's 3 zeros, 1 2 3, then 1 1. So we are okay there. When you add 1, that's 1, that's 1, that's 1, that's 1. Only now is it 2. Always when we are separating a smaller number, we'll have a what? We'll have a carry, and then remember our comma stays in place. Now with 2's complement, just like with the 10's complement, what do? You ignore the carry. Okay, remember in converting from 1's complement to 2's complement, we add 1. We only add once. Remember, I made a note previously that you only add once. So we added a 1 when we were converting from 1's complement to 2's complement. Now this one here we ignore. So the carry 1, you ignore it. Ignore carry. So your answer is therefore that there with a little 2. Just to prove 1, remember you may not do this. Maybe do it in discretely. This here is 2 minus 1. That will be a 1. That will be a 0. We borrow from there. This was what? A 0. This becomes 2 minus 1. It's a 1. Then you borrow from there. This was now a 0. 2 minus 1. It's a 1. Now you borrow from there, and that's a 2 1. You borrow there. This was a 0 left. That's a 1. And you can see the rest is the same, because once you've got what's going on here, there's something wrong. Let me just double check what's wrong. 1 1 0 0. Okay, it would have been 0 1 1. When you add, it becomes 0 1 1. When you add, it would have been 0 0 1. When you add, it becomes 105. So yes, the number stayed the same up to there, and then the rest. So now let's see here if I did this correctly. Let's confirm 1 1 1 1. We skipped a 1 here. We skipped a 1 there. Okay, then this is a 1. Oh, we skipped a digit there. Okay, so that makes sense now, because I was shocked why I'm getting another digit here, and this was a 0 when we took away a 1. So these are the same. So we skipped actually things. See, now double checking yourself is very important. Double checking yourself is very important now, because it's very easy to make mistakes. So but you do that discreetly. You wouldn't want to show that you're actually what? You're actually cheating. All right, so you wouldn't do that part. You would probably do it discreetly. Now there is your answer. Let's suppose now we had been asked to do rather, to subtract rather the what? The bigger number. It would have been 1 1 comma 1 1. Let's suppose instead you are going to subtract 1 0 1 1 comma 1 0 1. Let's suppose that's what you're asked to do. Standard practice, just make a habit of balancing the digits, even if in this case it will be what? It will be redundant and pointless, but practice to do this so that where you need it, you will not go wrong. You are subtracting that. So what you then do, you want to avoid subtraction. We're using 2's complement now. You want to avoid subtraction, so you add. What do you add? The complement, 2's complement. Number stays the same up to the first one. So everything else is 1's complement. Is 1 0 0 comma 0 1, but that last one stays as is. So let's double check. 0 1 0 0 comma 0 1, that one stays as is. 2's complement is 1's complement plus 1, or the number stays the same from the right up to the first one. So our first digit is a 1, so that one stays the same. Then the rest is 1's complement. So then the top number is 0 0 1 1 is the positive number. It doesn't change. 1 1 0. The whole point was to avoid subtraction. Now we add 1 2 2 2 2 2 1. Now we did expect when it's a bigger number we will have no carry. So what do? It tells us the answer. Remember, the comma stays in position. It tells us this answer here is in actually 2's complement. It is in the same complement that you complemented it. So your answer is in 2's complement. When there's no carry, it tells you your answer is in 2 complements form. What you need to do is, it tells you it's a negative number. If it's in 2's complements form, it's actually a negative number. This is a negative number. It is in 2's complements form because it was a negative number. So you show that it's a negative number and you complement it back to its actual value, which is the first one stays as is, the rest is 1's complement. So that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1, that one would have been a 0. So it's a negative 111, comma 111, and there's a little 2 to say we are doing what? If you look, we said here we actually skipped. I think when I was reversing here, I also reversed that part here. So you can see the two answers are actually what? Are actually the same. So this is 2's complement. I will do another example. I don't have to make this long, because once you understand, we're now just, well, what we did with 10's complement, all we are changing here is the base. And then let's take an example, like let's say 1 0 0 1 0 1 0, and then you say subtract base 2, subtract 1 1 1 1 base 2. What do? We know that 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 base 2, that one is 1 1 1 1 base 2. What do? Balance up the digits first. This is the negative number. We don't want to see the negative. What do? We're doing 2's complement, so we put it in the positive form of what? Of 2's complement. Now 2's complement is what? Is 1 1 1 0 0, 0. But the first one from the what? From the right stays as is. The number up to the first one, probably I should make this clear in the next example, but it's fine. You understand that from whatever the number is up to the first one, we've done this in the what? With the what? When you're doing the 2's complement and when you're understanding the complements themselves. So the other number is what? 1 0 0 1 0 1 0. So what do? We add. That is a 1, that is a 1, that is a 0, that is a 1, that is a 1, that is a 1, that is a 0, 1. Those digits are balanced. This is the carry. So what do you do with the carry? 2's complement, you ignore the carry. Okay, you always get a carry when you're separating a smaller number, so you ignore the carry, and that there is our answer. Okay, ignore carry. Okay, so now prove that we really understand our 2's complement. Let's do that number again. We are going to do now the what? Big, small minus big. You can already predict. We're going to have what? We're going to have no carry. Therefore, we're going to have our answer. Our sum is going to be what? In 2's complement form, and we're going to complement again and have a negative answer. So let's see if that's true. 1 0. Let's see, 2 zeros and a 1, and we balance up the digits. Standard practice is a negative number. We don't want to see that, so we do 2's complement. Top number is 3 zeros, 1 2 3 4 ones, and then the bottom number is 2's complement is going to make it, it's going to stay the same up to there. 1 0. 1's complement with the rest is 0 double 1 0 1. That is 2's complement. What do? We add. We're running away from subtraction. When you add, that's a 1, that's a 0, carry 1, that's a 3, 1 1, that's a 2 0, carry 1, that's a 2 0, carry 1, 2 again, 0, carry 1, that's a 1. We have no carry, predictably no carry. What does it mean? This answer is actually not in 2's complement form. Therefore, what do? We then say, okay, in that case, what do? We complement again, same complement, and then we say our answer stays the same up to the first one. The rest is what? Is complemented. 1 2 3 0 1. So our answer is, if you look at that, but we must indicate that it is a negative number. When it's in 2's complement format, it means that it is the positive form of what? Of a negative number. So we complement again and we show it's a negative number. So this is 2's complement. As you can see, it's once we've got a hang, once we've understood what to do with the 10's complement, we are basically repeating ourselves here. I don't know. I think I should encourage students to do their own examples, a lot more examples, and if they've got problems, I'm a contact away. Let's meet again when we're doing what? I want to do the sign bits. My last job on the number systems is going to be doing what? The sign bits, doing the same things with the sign bits. I said before that there are instances where these simple rules, they work in a scenario where they're dealing with what? With a positive number and a negative number. But if all the numbers are negative, it gets a little bit tricky. So we'll introduce sign bits to get over that problem. All right, then I will see you when I see you. Ciao.